Another part of our history, the lightning rod of Zeus Varsha, the most powerful weapon of the ancient gods from the time of the Atlanteans, and we have pictures of it. This was supposedly given to Alexander the Great of Greece about 330 BC. This is a copy of it that's found in one of the Tibetan monasteries in the Himalayas. And this is it. And from one of the previous videos I posted, you'll find the videos in the playlist, the ancient Greeks videos. This is what it looks like. You can see here the man holding it. And this was supposedly given by the Atlanteans, or extraterrestrials, let's put it this way, to Alexander the Great. Remember that Alexander the Great had a lot of encounters with UFOs and extraterrestrials. Supposedly he went into the Mongolian desert of Taklamakan with his 30,000 strong army, and he lost 10,000 of them there. He went there to meet a UFO. We have other reports of UFOs helping Alexander the Great capture the area of Tyre outside of Lebanon by throwing lasers at the walls to crumble the walls so that the army of Alexander the Great could overtake the city. Very strange. At that time was a report of a mothership sending out probes doing all this. And again, here we have Zeus holding the Thunderbolt here, the Thunderbolt of Zeus, this mechanism, this Varja. Also, of course, that was held similarly by Marduk. So what is this thing? This was given to Alexander the Great for him to conquer the lands that he overtook. His generals say that he went to the end of China. In other words, he reached the end of China, he reached the Pacific Ocean, and they buried the original one they had buried in the area somewhere there, so that it would not be found easily. And they also erected a column, a stele, for the reason to commemorate that Alexander the Great had reached there. Now, the copy of it, as we said, is in one of the Tibetan monasteries in the Himalayas. So, what is this thing? Recently, the theory of paleo contact has been asserting itself louder and louder. There's more and more evidence that high technologies once already existed on our planet. Scientists come to the conclusion that the objects depicted in ancient frescoes or rock paintings, and we have here, of course, the Marduk holding this. We have vases, ancient Greek vases, showing Zeus holding this. So frescoes, paintings, rock paintings, and actually spaceships or airplanes. Varjas are one of such mysterious objects of the past. This lightning rod of Zeus. Strange products that have survived to this day in their original form, unlike any evidence of paleo contact that disappeared over the millennia. Now, this weapon was present in Assyrian cultures, also in Byzantine cultures, among the Sumerians, as well as the ancient Indian epics. And as we said, also in ancient Greece. This was supposedly given by extraterrestrials to Alexander the Great to help him with his conquests. And just so that I don't forget, we have a reference to Alexander the Great in the book of Daniel of the Old Testament, where the Archangel Gabriel is talking to Daniel about the young king that will be coming from Greece, putting an end to the Persians, that he would not live long, that he would not pass his empire to his heirs, but it would be divided into 4 parts. Actually, that's exactly what happened. It's his generals that took over his various parts of the empire. Now, Varja is made of metal. Since it is metal, it can be a conductor. Astravidya, a divine science. Some archaeologists suggest that our distant ancestors fought not only with swords and arrows. Why are the ruins of the capital of the Hittite state, the city of Hattusis, fused to a greater extent than it happens during a fire? In other words, something happened in Northern Africa, Saudi Arabia, India, where the sand was fused with a temperature stronger than a regular fire. So what caused that? Why are there traces of strange melting on the granite walls of the Irish fortresses of Dundalk and Echoes? The reasons for such melting are still a mystery, and attempts at the huge lightning explanation look unconvincing. Perhaps we should pay attention to the numerous references in world folklore to unusual, heavenly, super-powerful weapons. Perhaps the most interesting and systemized information of this kind is found in the ancient Indian literature. Here, for example, is how the Mahabharata describes the use of weapons of the Brahma-shiras. Then Rama shot an arrow of non-defensive force, terrible, bringing death, instantly launched by Rama, a far-flying arrow. It lit that mighty Rakshasa with a great flame, a pair of horses, a chariot. He was completely engulfed in fire and disintegrated into 5 basic natures. His bones, meat, and blood no longer held, burnt their weapons so that the ashes were not visible. It doesn't even require a nuclear interpretation. For those who are familiar with the action of napalm, such a description does not seem surreal, but napalm is ancient India in ancient India? Question mark? There are various types of weapons mentioned in the Mahabharata, including the super-powerful Brahmadanda and Brahma-shiras, which are clearly radioactive. They killed fetuses and women and infected people for several generations, but we will consider only one type of weapon, the so-called Varja, this lightning rod of Zeus that was supposedly given. One of these were given to Alexander the Great. The lightning rod of Zeus and the lightning strike. Varja in Sanskrit has several meanings, thunderbolt and diamond. In Tibet, and it's one of the Tibetan monasteries that this copy that was given to Alexander the Great is found today, still there. In Tibet, it is called Dorje. In Japan, it's called Kongjose. In China, it's called Jianxi. In Mongolia, it's called Okir. It is an important ritual item in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. Vajra is a cult symbol like the cross for Christians or crescent for Muslims. Until now, the vajra is used in various rituals, and the Buddha is often depicted with it in his hands. There is a direction of Buddhism called Vajrayana. Moreover, the Buddha himself is called Vajrasattva in it. And in yoga, there is a position, a posture called Vajrasana, the meaning of which is to make the body strong like a diamond. In Indian mythology, the Varja is a powerful weapon of the god Indra, which can kill without a miss. At the same time, like a diamond, it is safe and sound in any situation. It destroys everything, but not a single scratch remains on it. Note that the god Indra is the main god in Hindu mythology, the head of all gods, the god of thunder and lightning, the king of the universe, quote unquote. He crushes and breaks fortresses, and besides, with the help of the Vajra, he is able to command the weather, as well as change the course of rivers and blow up rocks. The weather? Buddhanath Stupa. Vajra, in various descriptions, is accompanied by epithets: copper, gold, iron, strong, as from stone or rock. It has 4 or 100 corners, 1,000 teeth. Sometimes it is in the form of a disc, but more often it is cruciform in the form of a cross beam of lightning. Images of Vajras are found on the most ancient monuments of India, but the most interesting thing is that such items appear as attributes of the gods in the cultural monuments of other countries. For example, Zeus, in the ancient Greek fresco, clearly holds a Vajra in his hands, and we remember that the thunderer possessed a powerful weapon that could throw lightning, the thunderbolts of Zeus, and in addition he knew how to control the weather. This means that this mysterious weapon in ancient times was available in different parts of the planet. so it was all over the planet, and they also control the weather. However, Varjas are widely represented in our time. As already mentioned, this is a cult item for Eastern religions, and therefore it is produced today, moreover, according to ancient images and canons. Moreover, there are several Varjas left from ancient times. For example, in Nepal, there is a temple complex of Buddhanath, built in the 6th century AD. In the center of the complex stands a so-called Buddhist stupa, by the way, another mysterious religious building that most of all resembles a spaceship is a regular hemisphere with a top. There is a huge Varja nearby, which is the object of worship of many pilgrims. And moreover, local monks claim that the gods use this Varja as a tool. They cut stones, made blocks for the construction of temples, and other huge structures. The secret mantra. Paranormal researchers believe that Varjas begin to work after they are activated, quote-unquote, with the help of a secret mantra, which is kept by the ministers of the ancient religions of the East. However, so far no one has managed to make the mysterious weapons of the past work. However, the famous Nikola Tesla, back in 1896, created his mysterious resonator generator, the Tesla Coil, which works without any mantras and creating a voltage of several million volts, literally throws lightning. So you can put forward a version that the Varja is also a resonant generator which had a very high power. It's believed that Varjas are associated with torsion fields. This term was introduced in 1922 by the French scientist Élie Cartan. He designated it with it a hypothetical physical field, which is formed by the torsion of space, and later the theory of torsion fields became the most controversial issue in physics. And its official non-recognition is largely due to the fact that torsion people claim that a person and his thoughts can generate a controlled torsion and control torsion fields. If the Varja is the weapon of the ancient gods, who were far ahead of us in terms of the level of technological developments, after all they flew from distant planets, which is not yet available to us, then it turns out that these mysterious gods knew how to control torsion fields, remember the secret Eastern mantra. And by the way, the schemes of torsion fields of an elementary particle surprisingly resemble a Varja in their construction. Maybe somehow someone will be able to achieve the Varja, to activate the Varja. Until our society is ready for this, it is terrible to imagine what will happen if such a formidable weapon falls into the hands of a morally unscrupulous person. Indeed, in the same Mahabharata, the ancient gods warned, Arjuna, don't use the wondrous weapons, because they can never use it aimlessly, and they should not hit the target without extreme need. When this weapon is abused, great misfortune can happen. Perhaps, unlike mankind has learned to live peacefully and do without military conflicts, it is too early to talk about controlling the weapons of the gods, which can cause great disasters. And this is on Soul Ask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.